I'm all out of.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like a Wednesday, Dean. I think we're gonna have to amend that. I know it says Wednesday here on this piece of paper, but no.
Not sure what's going on. Anyway, it's a Wednesday. I have it on good authority that is a Wednesday. We're still in the month of February, but it's fleeting. February is it's slipping through our fingers.
A week and a day, some would say. That's all we got left.
Week and a day.
And then a week from there, and Connie's gonna have the whole team traded.
Is he doing that? What's he up to? Was he at the poker tournament? I saw the Flames had their poker tournament. Is he pokering? Was he doing
poker for sure? Yeah, I think yesterday's a good tune-up for the deadline, isn't it?
Well, maybe somebody needs to do a little less poker and a little more work on the phones.
He's sitting on pocket aces with those D-men and a goalie. I'll say.
Oh, look at you! Because what you did there is you worked the poker angle in on kind of the trade deadline. Pair of 2 player.
Are you explaining the joke, Dean?
The doke's on me.
Gene, yep. Don't explain the doke.
The doke's on all of us. Now, did you say you were having high-level conversations?
My goodness, the Flames are central players, my friend. You can schmooze with hockey people of all 32 organizations, and they'll tell you Flames are a central figure. You can read about it. A lot of journalists talking about it, sports reporters, etc. And if you're a team that needs D,
Suts.
You're a team that needs
now you got Suts going here.
Oh, geez. Settle down, Daryl.
Beat it, Daryl.
Levy was the real poker player. If you ever went to those poker tournaments, which was yesterday for the Flames, wouldn't even look at the cards, and he'd just stare at you.
Yeah, there's a lot of those guys. They would just firsthand. They wouldn't even just
all in. You're a hoodler. All in.
All in. Did you look at your card? No. Oh, so you're going in blind? I don't know what that means, but I'm all in.
Okay, guys, see you at the bar.
Yeah, here's my jersey. Please let me go home. Please let me leave. No, I mean, if you're a Flames fan, even for people like us, you're really checking your phone fairly regularly for any kind of text, email, updates, Twitter, X, whatever, TikTok, talking.
Is TikTok where that goes? That's interesting. Yeah, I better get on that.
Because, he's, to use that, to quote Roman Reigns or The Rock or whatever, he's at the head of the table.
He is at the head of the table.
Yeah.
So you've got the best left shot defenseman who's 27 and eligible for an extension. And you have the best right shot defenseman on the market who is a rental and just turned 34.
Everybody wants Tanev, hey?
Yeah, no one wants to give Connie a first yet, and that's what he's asking for. So, I mean, everyone would like him at the price of a second plus. Connie wants the late first.
So you need a first. Sorry.
And or it's, 10 minutes till midnight, and you say, okay, that didn't work.
Second it is.
We'll take a second plus. Who's got the best plus out there?
So he'll be trying to call people's bluff.
You are so excited about your soundboard, are you? I've
got another soundboard. I got a couple things going here, but I can't. I got to patch this thing in. I don't know what the hell's going on. It's not working. Sad. Anyway, it's exciting, I think. Usually you don't want, I don't know, maybe I'm not the right guy to talk to. I'm excited by it. I look forward to seeing these trades. Let's make some trades. Gives us something to talk about this whole thing. On the flip side, it means your team is probably not doing very well. Otherwise, you'd want to be keeping you're a good team. You're moving forward. You want to be buying at the deadline. Who are we bringing in? Who's our new guy going to be? Like in Vancouver, they're loving old Elias. It's just so great.
Yeah.
Well, although I saw, what is it? They've leveled off a little bit.
They've lost 3 in a row for the first time all season after falling last night. Who the hell was
our buddy Nick Alberga, 4-4-1 now since the
Colorado
trade. Are the
Colorado.
No redoozies there, Alvin. We're keeping the picks and everything.
I've heard they're trying to redoozy Zadorov, but it's not back to Calgary.
No, we're not doing it.
Maybe.
Somewhere else, redoozies.
No, somewhere else can get Zadorov. Yeah.
No, he can be. He can go somewhere else.
Yeah, not all of the sky's falling for Vancouver. It's just
no, it's not. I mean,
they've been on an absolute PDO heater all year. They're due for some bad luck. They've got some bad luck and 3 in a row, and it'll be interesting. It's their first really, like, they'll be in a home ice position in the postseason for the first time in maybe the Pettersson era. The other one was in the bubble. It didn't really count. And like, they might be the top seed in the division. That comes with some pressure, and it's going to be a first time for a lot of these guys in a real playoff series. Interesting. Pressure.
Yeah.
Pressure.
I was going to say, it almost
18 Flames or no?
Because of all that, it almost feels kind of like house money because there was no expectations, but it doesn't feel like they're a team that you can expect to be. It's not like there's a window that's opening. They've got a lot of money.
Well, they got to pay Pettersson this summer. They got to pay Hronek this summer.
Isn't it Hronek? Don't you think?
Don't you think? Yeah. A little too Hronek.
Service Credit Union, the Service Big Share is back for the 6th year with your chance to win $1 million just by saving money. Anyone can enter by becoming a member and saving with Service. Every $500 saved gives you 5 entries into the Service Big Share contest. Just take your existing your savings, which I know you have. I mean, it's not like you just got a checking and nothing else. You're just living payday to be like, come on, take your existing savings, take it to Service. Say, here, Service, please help. For every $500 you've got in here, you get 5 chances. You get chances to win $1 million. What? That's unbelievable. Why wouldn't I have done this sooner? I don't know. You haven't been paying attention. Contest ends April 30th, 2024. Skill test required. For rules, visit service.ca/win. Service.ca/win. Our buddy Jamie McLennan going to join us coming up here in a matter of moments.
Yeah.
A bit of a humdinger between the old the Panteros and the Senators last night. I'm guessing he was covering it in some way, shape, or form. As
it's 2 this year, because remember, Grandma Kachuk was all like, "Oh, you boys, I told you not to be doing it, not scrapping." She was all mad.
There was pushing and shoving.
Yeah,
and they were getting. Tell us about the game. Tell us about the Panthers and the Senators last night, Rhett.
Yeah, what'd you see there?
Well, the scrappiness was infectious. I really liked it. The intensity of it all. 2 top end teams going at it. Nobody wanted to give an inch, and man, I couldn't sleep after it. I was so enthralled with the performance.
Just wound up, eh?
Yeah, totally wound up. That was inspiring stuff. Really inspiring. What'd you guys think?
Are you living out of your vehicle now? Is that what's happening?
Yesterday he was too, yeah.
It's possible I've lost all my wealth and savings and don't have money, but I don't think that's any of your concern, Dean, so I don't think you need to.
Well,
that would be our concern.
It's kind of our concern. Yeah, there's this thing.
Home studio.
Now you're in your car a lot. We're just wondering if.
Well, I'm not at home, so.
Yeah. It's true.
He's in Ohio, HIO.
Cincinnati. Skyline Chili, Pinder.
That's the one. Okay, we were talking about what is the signature Cincinnati food? It's what, Primanti Brothers, do you know, in Pittsburgh? You got to get
because we talked about this before the Super Bowl. About you had ribs in Kansas City. Yeah. And I said, oh, it's Skyline Chili. No, it's Cincinnati. Cincinnati. And what did you just put a whole bunch of grated cheese on top of the chili bowl? Is that what it is?
It pretty much looks that way. I didn't try it because I was uninspired. I like chili, but it was
it'll bung you up. All that cheese, it'll bung you right tight if you're not careful. And I mean, when you're living in your car and you got to take a shit all of a sudden,
doesn't that feel lazy as far as your signature dish for a chili?
Yeah.
Like,
we're gonna take a dish and then just put a bunch of cheese on it. There's got to be more to it. I mean,
it feels very Cincinnati, though, right? Maybe the city.
They call it Skyline chili. It's got to be called Skyline. So
I'm not sure. Skyline
no. I've not noticed much. No.
And the thing about a Skyline, you will notice it if you're in the city. So I'm going to say no to the Skyline.
Yeah, especially when you're right in it. It's time to go to the Insider Hotline. It's a presentation to tell us. You can enter to win one of 6 monthly prizes, including tickets to Calgary hockey games, awesome tech like AirPods, Apple Watches, and more. No purchase necessary. All you have to do is fill out a quick survey to enter for your chance to win. Go online, wouldn't you? TELUS.com/Flames contest. He is our regular Wednesday guest, our insider. He's Jamie Noodles McLennan from TSN. I was just asking Rhett. I said to Rhett, the Panthers and the Senators got into a It was a good old schlobberknocker last night between these two teams. I asked him about his thoughts on the game, and he was saying, what was it again?
What was that thing you said?
I said so much.
Kept you up at night or something? It was
I couldn't fall asleep. The intensity of it all was infectious. Infectious, I think was the word.
There was an infectious. It was a crock of shit. Noodles is basically what it came down to, and I shouldn't expect. But no, I went and caught a look-see this morning. There's some reason to believe that these Senators might be. They're fun to watch, right? They're not winning games. They lose last night, but they're up for a scrap. There's some offense there. We've been waiting for the Senators, but they went toe to toe with one of the league's best and took it to OT.
Well, in a back-to-back situation as well, because they'd beat Tampa the night before. They're still an enigma of a team. They'd won four in a row, and then they play Anaheim and they lay an egg that night. And then they go into Chicago, they lay an egg. And then all of a sudden they go into Tampa and they play their most complete game of the year. And then they go in a back-to-back situation. Florida's coming off a 9-2 drubbing, giving it to Tampa on the weekend, feeling pretty good about themselves. And they're down 2-0 heading into the third, and they push back. And you're right, they push back not only physically, but in the game. It's disappointing if you're a Sens fan because the season is gone as far as making the playoffs. But that's the team that fans envision at the start of the year, where they got some good goaltending. You saw a step from some of their players. Chychrun looks like he's, obviously I think he's on the trade bait board, but that's a guy that has been playing well recently. Shabbat's been in and out as far as playing, elite hockey. Shane Pinto's really helped them. I mean, that him missing 41 games, that really hurt their depth. Josh Norris is playing limited minutes, but that game alone last night, I called it. I just came back from Florida this morning. That was heavyweight hockey. Like Florida's a serious team. I'm going to say
big time. Yeah,
they're one of the teams that they're a complete package because they come to play. They play for keeps. They hit to hurt. They've got skill. Bobrovsky's a good goaltender. Their D are active, like Ekblad and Montour are all over the ice. They're fun.
I looked last night. That was the thing. You keep the scorers off the board, and it was Ekblad and Montour that get the goals. They've won 6 in a row. They're a real handful, right?
Well, and
we shouldn't be shocked. And Tkachuk is on an absolute tear. He had that slow start, remember, because he was rehabbing from whatever that injury was that he had. Since January 1st, 20 games, 48 points for Matthew Tkachuk. And then you throw in Reinhart, and Verhaeghe's got 30 now, I think.
Yeah.
They're going to be no fun, man, because we know that when they get to the playoffs, they can hang and bang there for sure.
Well, Noodles, they got Gadjevich, Cousins, Lomberg, Bennett, Tkachuk. There are a lot of guys with dirt under their nails.
Well, that's what I was just going to say. You throw in a guy like Sam Bennett, who literally, the playoffs are when, like, I feel like he's built for the way that he plays, the style. Cousins is a pain in the ass to play against. Lomberg is a pain in the ass to play against. Like they Stenlin on that fourth line as well. Like they've got some players there. Like I was saying, the way that they're built. And I was talking to Brian McCabe and Roberto Luongo last night. Just
name drops.
Wow. I caught up with a couple of friends. I mean, I played with both.
I
played with both of them, and I texted them afterwards. I said, I'll come down and see you after the game. So just asked them, and they said, the team learned a lot from that run. Like, really, if you go deep into the playoffs, you learn how to win. You learn how to play in tough games, right? And they're comfortable in any different type of game. They can play a skill game, no problem. But you mentioned, Pinder, like dirt under their nails. Like that team has some grit. And I don't think they had their best last night, but they had good enough to win that game. They did what they needed to do. So they're one of the best teams. I've gotten a chance now, I think, to see every team in the league live this year.
Wow.
They're
I was going to ask you, because you would see the Eastern Conference more than anything else. Are they the team to come out of the East in your mind?
I mean, they're serious. I have a tough time betting against Boston. I keep betting against them going, okay, is this the year that they've taken some players off the table with Bergeron and Krejci, and, they just continue to elevate. Don Sweeney is a guy I think will be proactive at the deadline. He always ends up coming up with a really crafty move. They have value signings too. You look at JVR, all of a sudden have resurgence there, and he's on, he's pennies on the dollar, right? So Boston is a serious team. I think, I don't want to sleep on Carolina either. If Carolina could get goaltending, I think they're legit. And then there's teams that are kind of, I'll call it in that second tier, even though I'm not being disrespectful, but that's Tampa, that's Toronto, that's Detroit, that's the Rangers. The Rangers are a team, if Shesterkin actually got onto a roll, which he's playing better lately, I think the Rangers are a really good team too. But you've got, some surprises like Philadelphia. Torts has got them playing for keeps. But, some of the teams that I've seen live, I would say Florida, Vegas, Colorado, the new version of Edmonton, not the one that, the 6 weeks where they're out to lunch. Some of these teams, they come, Vancouver stubbed their toe a little bit recently. They've lost 3 in a row. So we'll see if they can dig out of it. Winnipeg's a good team. So there's a lot of good teams in the league, but I would say Florida, the way that they're built, there's no weaknesses.
You like Dallas? I didn't hear it, but I think you probably would include them there or no?
I do. I don't think they're done. I think that they're.
They need D.
You keep hearing, yeah, exactly. They might need a D, but ultimately, I do like Dallas because if you look at it, I feel like you need stars in every position. Ottinger, a couple of years ago against Calgary, he damn near stole that series. He almost stole the series, and Johnny scored short side on that, I think, OT goal. And then, I thought he kind of had a little bit of a regression year last year, but he's a 6'6", really talented goaltender. Heiskanen's a star. Robertson's a star. Like the one thing when you used to think of Dallas, it was always Ben and Sagan. They're farther down in the lineup. They're supporting cast now, which is fine. There's no disrespect with that. But now you've had some players that have pushed through. And even a value signing like Marchment, he comes to play every night too. So it's very interesting. I think Dallas is I should have included them, but they kind of are a bit of a sleeper for me. They shouldn't be, though. They're a really good team.
What are your thoughts on Skyline Chili?
Like
we were talking about that when we came in. It's kind of it's a signature dish in Cincinnati, Ohio, and we were just wondering what's the big whoop-de-doo over Skyline Chili.
I don't know. It better come with a porta potty or at least a key to the bathroom.
Yeah,
well, that's the way I would say, because it hits people differently. Put it that way.
We're getting varying reviews here. I'm hearing bunged up. I'm hearing it's going to go right through you. We need more data here.
Chili is beans, isn't it? Like beans. And,
it can be, yeah.
Yes,
it's whatever you want it to be.
Well, what I'm saying is, I don't think I'm not a chili person because I've got the palate of a 4-year-old, so it's chicken fingers and fries, and when you start adding in spices and onions and stuff like that, chunks of tomato, I'm not going to eat that. What I'll do is I'll have old school chili, which is just basically ground beef with some seasoning, maybe a bean or two, and you cook it really well and you put it on toast. You make a sandwich out of it. That's what I would do. It's like a chili sandwich.
It's a sloppy Joe.
Yeah,
kind of what you're talking about there.
Not very sloppy. I like it well done, not very
okay. Well,
so
yeah, it's because I'm reading here. There's some wild ingredients potentially in here, like chocolate and
that's ridiculous though. They're trying to be you're trying to be a hero when you start putting chocolate with beef and stuff. Like that's ridiculous. You don't do that.
Yeah.
Like where are you, in Cincinnati?
Cincinnati, Ohio. Do you remember?
Yeah. Do you
remember the name?
You be the mayor there?
Yes, he did.
Yes.
Well done.
I did the Jerry Springer episode for about 2 years in Calgary. So
you tough guy, Curtis Brackenberry.
Kurt Brackenberry, right-handed shot, kind of fuzzy hair.
Yeah, not anymore, but yes, tough.
His nails.
Yeah.
Unsweetened chocolate is the secret ingredient in Cincinnati / Highline chili that makes it different. Apparently adds rich flavor.
Well, there you go. That's a Harry Dunn situation from Dumb and Dumber. I'm telling you.
There you go. Yeah.
Just shaving. So
I feel like that's unnecessary calories in there. You put chocolate in there for whatever reason. Well, I sent you a text because I wanted to give you a couple, like your bowels and like Harry's bowels, just get things moving, percolating, moving around. We're counting down the days till Kipper night here in town. Couple weeks away. It's going to be a fun one. Is there any kind of, with a couple weeks to go and a couple visits with Noodles in advance, just some Kipper stories? Is there a Kipper story that kind of fond of? I'm sure you have plenty of them, but anything worth sharing?
Okay, so I'm trying to save a couple stories for my speeches and
your big speech. Yeah, you are speaking, right?
Yeah,
but I am speaking, which I'm very excited about. But I also have to get my act together and figure out if he jams me up or not. But I do have a funny story. I read, you might know this story, but it's more, it's kind of an on ice and off ice situation. So our trainer, Mark DePasquale, Depot, has kids and at that time had younger kids and had bought a guinea pig. I don't know if I've told you guys this story or not.
We're good.
So he had bought a guinea pig, and Kipper found out, and Depot and Kipper are very close. Depot did a lot for Kipper, and they just were very good friends. Kipper found out that Depot, to save extra money, or this is what Kipper told me, so I don't know if it's embellished or not, the guinea pig only had one eye. Because he goes, they got the guinea pig, the kids chose it, and it only had one eye. And he made a story up that Depot saved money on it, so that's why he bought it. So Kipper he would love to start little rumors and be like, Depot bought a guinea pig that was half price because it only had one eye. So, and Depot would get mad and, kind of defending it. So I remember that night we're playing. He told that story at morning skate, and Depot came into the room to defend himself. And then that night we're playing, and every time Kipper came to the bench for a TV timeout to drink water, he would be staring at Depot and always closed his eyes. He always had one eye. And he would ask for a towel, ask for water, but he would always have one eye closed, asking with Depot. And the guinea pig's name was Winky. So can you imagine, we're trying to play hockey, we're trying to win games, we're trying to do all this stuff, and Kipper's loving it. He's laughing. You can see him. He does the one eye thing to Kipper, to Depot, throws the towel back to him, pulls his mask down, goes to the net, and he did it all game. And then we're going into, I think we went into overtime and then a shootout, and the shootouts begins. Kipper comes to the bench and he's staring at, and I'm saying, I can't remember what I said to him, and he's literally staring at Depot with his eye closed, and he didn't say a word. He's just staring at him and then just skates back to the net. That was Kipper in a nutshell. We all think that he's super dialed in, which he is and was, and an amazing dialed in athlete. But his sixth sense of humor that the whole day he's bothering Depot about a one-eyed guinea pig. So that's for me, that's Kipper's sense of humor and his ability to just read the situation. I say this all the time, you could never tell the score. If it was 7-1 one way or the other way, he just looked the same. He just wore the game the same way. That was his calmness. But he had a very funny sense of humor. And that was, him bugging Depot. He was constantly always bugging Depot.
That's part of his strength as a goaltender and as an athlete, right? Is because even though he's having fun with it, he's not distracted or failing at what he's good at. It doesn't take him away from his performance.
No, his ability to understand the game. I was working on my speech actually on the plane this morning, and just talking about his God-given ability, but then how cerebral he was. He saw things with the game that were so far ahead. He would read plays. His read of the plays coming towards him was the best I'd ever seen, and understood, and talking to him and understanding where his threats were coming from on the ice and where he needed to be. He was so cerebral, but it was his ability to just not let the moment overwhelm him. He was just so calm. He had fire and he was passionate. Don't get me wrong, but he was able to channel it in a way where he just didn't get overwhelmed. Like, he embraced the situation. Whatever it was, he's like, I can handle this. So it was always cool. I never had that ability. I was a nervous player. I was a nervous wreck all the time. I, overthought the game a million times in my head, where, Kipper, he was the other way. He knew how good he was, and he knew that, he could perform to his capabilities, but he was able to keep it light. And there were many times on the bench and comments in between the period, he would make a smart ass comment where, underneath his breath, he'd kind of chuckle. And then, afterwards you talk about it. So very impressive to work.
Okay, let me ask you. I mean, you were a goalie coach.
Yeah.
Marcoux was a goal. You don't have to one-on shot on me, please. Let's go back to the 4.
Jack.
But how much like Kipper came from the AHL. He was the 3rd goalie in San Jose.
Yeah.
Clearly, God-given ability, this and that, this and that. How much did Marcoux help him?
I think a lot. And it wasn't, I would say the signs of a good goaltender coach can help a goaltender maximize what they have. I always say this, if you break it down, every player, so let's talk every goalie, has a toolbox and certain things you can put into the box. And, Kipper's toolbox was massive because he just had so much skill. But what you're able to do, Marcoux would work on things, for example, reverse VH, sealing the post, okay? I didn't have the flexibility to do it. So he would say, okay, let's try this. You would add things to your toolbox that worked for you. Kipper just had the ability to do all of it. So what Marcoux was good at was his preparation, his repetitiveness as far as some of the drills to prepare him for the game. I know, like, Kipper probably could have coached himself, but a lot of times when you're a goalie coach, you are the eyes and the ears. You are an extension of that goalie union. Because you think about it, you go into a coach's room, coaches are like, to hell with the goalies, stop the puck, shut your mouth, that's it. So you're in the room and you're battling with the coaches or management or anybody going, hold on a second here. I know the goalie allowed a goal, but there was 8 mistakes in front of it. Let's look at that. Let's clean that up. And then maybe give the goaltender an opportunity to make the save. Marcoux helped Kipper, I think, on a lot of different levels. The preparation for the game, the repetitiveness of the drills, the preparation of the drills. Because a lot of times, if you have 25 minutes that you want to work with your athlete, you got to maximize that 25 minutes. And I thought Dave Marcoux was really good at that. He's a communicator. So I think the goalie coach is, I look at it. I look at now. I think Sean Burke's a great goalie coach. I really do. But he has a certain type of goalie. Aiden Hill, these big 6'5", 6'6" goalies where they're economical in the net. Jason LaBarbera, I think, is a good goalie coach. It's about communication. He's a big goalie. He can obviously relate to Markstrom, relate to Vladar, because goalies are bigger nowadays. It's all about the relationship you have. So yes, coming back to the long answer to what you're talking about with Marcoux, he did help him. Warren Strelo, he was a famous goalie coach for the San Jose Sharks. Now, Warren, I met at 17 years old. I attended a goalie camp for him, and there were drills till I was 38 that I was still doing that Warren Strelo had put in my psyche. And now Warren was a guy, Warren didn't go on the ice. He was a larger guy. He stood on the bench and just did a lot of coaching from there. And then when he passed away, I know Nabokov, Toskala, I think Steve Shields, Kipper, all of those guys who came from that San Jose system, they were cranking out goalies there, and Strelo was a big part of that. So it wouldn't surprise me if Kipper acknowledges some of his goalie coaches. I guarantee you he will bring up Warren Strelo.
And you.
Well, I don't know. I was more of an extension. I was a partner that ended up just behind the curtain. So.
What was it? Because when we had you on in the off season, you were talking about just that the ability of him to be completely dialed in, but yet to completely be just
zen.
You're in the coach's office catching shit, or there's something going on, and he pulls you out because he's got to talk to you. He's got something very important to talk to you. How did that go again?
Well, yeah, one time we were in one. I think we were in a losing streak, and it was very tense around there. The pressure was coming from above, obviously ownership to president to manager down to coaches, and then the coaches extended into the room, right? So there's a fan bases in there as well, like all hell's breaking loose, and very tense situations. And we were in like closed door meetings. And I remember Kipper knocking on the door, and he's like, "Hey, I need to talk to my goalie coach." They're like, "Okay, go, go talk to Kipper. Like, we're going to get this all straightened out." And we go into Rich Hesketh, the strength and conditioning guys. He's got a little office in the workout room, and he had blinds. So Kipper had the blinds closed, and we go in, and he's looking at YouTube clips of like kids hitting a tennis racket and a ball hitting a guy in the nuts. And
Hail Army.
Yeah, he's showing me like these YouTube clips, and he's dying laughing. And I'm like, he's like, look at this, Noodles. And I'm like, you just dragged me out of a meeting, which is it actually was the perfect timing, because what was I going to contribute in that meeting? And then really my job was the psyche of the goalie, and I knew he was fine. That's the crazy part. It was almost like he was unofficially letting me know I'm fine. Doesn't matter if we're in a losing streak. Don't worry about me. Like, I'm looking at videos here and I'm cool. Like, he had the ability to just calm the masses. And you don't play 7 years in a row, 70 plus games by accident. Like,
it's crazy.
He was, I don't think it'll ever be done again. I mean, analytics and all that factor in, but it's just, he was a guy. It wasn't about how cut he was or how amazing shape. He was in great shape for being a goaltender to play 70 games a year. And that's what mattered for him.
And I know you were talking about, I saw one of your clips, I think it was on the Flames site, just kind of talking about it. There's a real discipline involved in playing that position. But you talked about how he would stretch and the stretching regimen and how long it took. I remember just being in visiting locker rooms where there wasn't an area to do that sort of. He's on a foam roller on the floor, and there's media walking around. What goalie is going to do this? And this is first bus is gone, second bus is gone. I just wonder how many times he had to have cabbed back to the hotel by himself. So, no, I have to get my stretching in. This is such discipline that way, right?
It was. And, my vision of him, if you just talk about Kipper stretching, would be to, backup goalie, Kipper would leave early, get his shots, leave early. Backup goalie stays out another, half an hour, taking shots, maybe a little bit more. I'd come off, do whatever I was doing, messing around, talking to people, all of that, do a little stretch, do ice bag, shower, all of that type of stuff. I'd walk through the gym. He'd still be in the spider web, in the splits. And it wasn't like he was in this is the thing. He wasn't in this trance. He was just sitting there. Like he's, people are walking by, he's talking to him. He's just literally in a spread eagle, like literally in the splits, talking. He might have been reading, he's watching TV. Like that was part of his routine. And I always felt, now, maybe it would be a question for him in a roundtable or something, but like I always felt that maybe that was his mental preparation of the game, where he thought about, okay, this is what I'm going to see tonight. You're preparing, we're going to play, name a team, Vancouver and Bertuzzi and Naslin and those guys. We're going to be very, Morrison. Got to look at their tendencies. In his mind, maybe he played that stuff over. I don't know. Maybe I was the only guy who would be terrified and think about that all day long. But it's just, with Kip, he would stay in that stretching position. It felt like hours. I did witness it once where I went to Finland and we watched a movie and he was in the splits for 2 hours in the living room.
And like I say, with discipline, it'd be so easy. Whereas I'm good. I know I have confidence in myself. You guys are going for lunch and fuck it. I'm in, boys. Let's go for lunch. The commitment and the dedication, that discipline it takes. No, this is what I need to do to maintain my level.
Right. And that's why I don't think anybody ever questioned him, because there's a level of discipline where, Iggy's in there pounding weights and riding the bike, and Robbins, everybody had their own little thing, right? That was Kipper's thing. And it made him what he is. So you're not going to question him stretching, question his preparation for a game, because in the end, he was playing 70. Didn't matter what the VO2 was. Didn't matter if he could bench press or do a chin up or whatever these tests are nowadays, or even back then. Bottom line is the guy played 7 years, 70 plus games a year. It's insane.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, not everyone, like, he wasn't healthy every night. Like,
Well,
you know,
and they didn't treat sleep with any respect back then.
oh yeah.
Your travel schedule was different.
Exactly. They didn't have sleep coaches and, wristbands and heart rate monitors and all of that type of stuff, and we as a team didn't respect sleep very much, as a group in 03, 04. Like, we just, I think sleep was a weapon. Sometimes we went on the road, married guys say you go on the road to sleep because the kids keep you up on that. We went on the road. We enjoyed ourselves, just like we did at home. Like, sleep was a weapon only when we used it. I mean, we didn't use it that much. I felt like that whole year, but we had a tight team, and that's the best thing though. You're right. Like, you look at it, the nutrition, like, it all wasn't tied together. It was still evolving. Kipper was ahead of his time as far as stretching and doing what he needed to do, but it wasn't tied to a protein shake and hey, we gotta check your body fat. We got to do all this stuff. It's just like, are you ready to play? Go play. And I think the more that he played, like, the less that Darryl dealt with him. Darryl was just like, you're playing. And in the media, I'm sure you guys were the same way. It was only a big story when Kipper didn't play.
That's right. Once a month, basically.
Once a month, it's like Kipper's getting a night off. And that backup, whoever was playing, whether it was me or McElhinney or Bush or Cujo or you name all the guys, their job was to give him a night off, like, not to have him come in. So if you laid an egg, man, you're in there. You're hung out to dry. I think I want to say, didn't Bush get left in for like a 9 spot against Nashville or something?
Could have been. Yeah. I was gonna say, and Darryl had a lot of time for backup goalies.
He did.
Really did.
He had a lot of time for me. I don't know why.
Oh yeah, you were the only one. I just remember.
Night.
Oh man.
I don't know if I'd let him off the hook. I think Darryl knew what my purpose was, and that was in the room.
Will Darryl be there?
I hope so. I heard a vicious rumor that there's a chance. Yeah, so I'm hoping. I mean, Darryl and his legacy in Calgary is directly tied to that team. Is directly tied to Kipper. And
maybe that trade.
The trade.
Yeah, big time.
That trade.
Right? All the rest, you know what? It's all bullshit at the end of the day. Wins, lot, that whole. If he's got to be there, and I certainly hope he knows that he has to be there.
Yeah, I think the fan base is over last year already. It's a 1-year blip. You look at his legacy here. He turned this franchise around.
Yeah, and you all have had, we all have relationships with Darryl of different magnitudes, and you've all, I'm sure, had one-on-one time and know the fabric of the man. He's a genuine, caring, loving family man. And I would be shocked if he wasn't there. But the thing about Darryl is Darryl's a lot like Kipper. He doesn't want the fanfare. Like, right.
He'll be in the Zamboni entrance watching.
Standing there. Yeah, exactly.
His kid plays for the Wranglers. He's famously seen halfway up the second deck. No one goes to the second deck for the Wranglers. He's always there. He's like, he's in the rafters.
I heard that the other day. I was talking to a buddy and he said, I was at the game and he goes, I look up and there's Darryl sitting in the rafters by himself.
Totally. Yeah.
I go, of course, like that's Big D in a nutshell. But I'm, you're right. Like, as far as like wanting to see faces there, I'd be disappointed if I looked over and didn't see Darryl. I think he's a big part of, Kipper's legacy. And you're right. That trade was one of the best trades of Flames history, really.
Like, some bad ones.
Sharks are fine with it too, right? Because Vlasic's still playing, as crazy as that. That's the pick they got.
Yeah.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
It's impressive.
All right, fella. Appreciate you as always. Have a fine week, and we'll talk to you next Wednesday.
Sounds good, guys. We'll chat soon.
Betcha. Jamie McLennan, TSN, and one of our insiders, no question about it, here on the TELUS Insider Hotline. Again, you can win one of 6 monthly prizes, including tickets to Calgary hockey games, awesome tech like AirPods, Apple Watches, and more. No purchase necessary. All you have to do is fill out a quick survey to enter. Go online and check out and get the details. Find out more. TELUS.com/Flames contest. Yeah, he'll be at the back. He'll be in the Zamboni entrance by the paramedics, just kind of standing there watching. Then what's over? He's got to be there. Got to be there. It's all bullshit at the end of the day, right? It's just, this is real life. This is about relationships and people and stuff. Bygones be bygones. I hope.
I hope there are no bygones. So just come and have a beer. Let's go.
Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, this is about celebrating that, essentially that 04 team. Really, that was the greatest height you guys got to. It was an incredible run. That was the identity of that team for the next 5 to 8 years, I'd say. And Daryl was a central figure there. He should be there. It would be criminal if he wasn't there. And whatever happened last year with this roster has nothing to do with Saturday, March 2nd. That's all about celebrating that 04 core and, the revitalization of the franchise that trip to the final was.
I'm not sure Conroy's going to have all his work done. We've been talking about that, get everything done so he can just get into the sauce and have a good time. I'm not sure.
Maybe he needs to get into the sauce to get the work done.
That's
yeah.
We did that.
Maybe I said if it's not done, he's going to get plenty of advice from his good buddies.
Too much.
Oh yeah.
A lot of insight.
He won't have to ask, hey guys, what do you think? What do you think? It'll be a lot of that coming in, no doubt about it.
I look forward to that saying, just make the cap stuff work and things like that. No, I need to make the caps. I can't just make it work. What do you mean?
Oh gosh, guys. I mean, you don't understand the cap.
Say LTIR.
Origin Brewing and Malting Company. They're in Strathmore. They're a 5-generation family farm. They've been growing the highest quality barley in the world for over 40 years. Sounds like I'm exaggerating. I'm not exaggerating, folks. It's a little pocket. About this. We're in a special part of the world. We don't even know it sometimes. Highest quality barley. They keep the best of the best to brew their own Origin beers, blending tradition and innovation for a truly unique experience that proudly celebrates Alberta farmers. They grow beer. It's what they do. It's what they do there. And we have got our Barn Burner Blonde. I don't even know how long it's been. Before Christmas, we rolled out the Barn Burner Blonde. We got the cans. It's on tap at some locations. Where can you get it? How are we going to get it? We've been telling you can get a delivery. Go to originbrewing.ca. You can find the delivery thing and then bring it out. But it is popping up. We're getting it into more and more stores as time goes on. More opportunities for you to get that Barn Burner Blonde in your hands. You can go onto our social media, onto the old Instagram, onto the socials, on X, I guess is what it's called. So there you see, we got buddy BK Beaufort Liquor. They've had it. I think they were the OG, weren't they, for having it in stock?
The OG was the OG for the Triple B, no doubt. Mandeep's been a day winner with us. Let's go.
Legacy Liquor, Stacy's Liquor Stop. Thank you, Stacy. Look at Stacy doing good work over there. Metro Liquor Store, Legacy Liquor, 5 Vines, Wine, Spirit, Beer, and Crafts. So, and there you see there's a few more. Edmonton.
Airdrie, Chestermere, Devon, Alberta, Edmonton, Fort Mac. Let's go, fellas.
Nice. Look at this. The global takeover is well underway.
Is that close to Fort St. John?
It is, yeah.
I mean, geez, I probably could take a flight to one to get to the other. Peace River. Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. Peace River Rangers, Ranger Peace Burger. Dog. Delicious. Sherwood Park.
Look at that. The Naughty Grape. Interesting. So check it out again. You can go online. No, there's other things than Barn Burner Blonde, but we're very proud of Barn Burner Blonde. The guys and girls over at Origin did a great job for us. We'd love you to try it. Go and originbrewing.ca to find out more.
Daryl's wondering if there's any Viking locations. I don't even know if there's a liquor store.
I'm not even sure.
Daryl, settle down.
The Carina in
there is liquor in Viking.
All right.
And a great
it would
Pinder,
seem to
when your kids go play there one day. The rink is awesome in Viking.
I heard, yeah. They got the massive
areas.
Murals, right?
There's I'm not worried about the mural, but there's actually like a play area for kids in there, a shooting area for like mini sticks, and the buffalo chicken wrap, second to none.
Really? Okay. We'll have to line up that Viking tournament next year.
And it goes without saying, if you're out there and enjoying some Barn Burner Blonde, send us a photo, send us a pic.
Yeah.
Put you on the show. If you own a liquor store, if there's a liquor store in your neighborhood that has it in there, we'll put you on the show.
Maybe
if there's
pub?
a pub that got it on tap, you're having some Barn Burner Blonde in the pub, we'll put you on the show. That's how that rolls. That's how that goes. Douglas Mattress. Another solid sleep on my Douglas mattress last night. Named Canada's best mattress on Canadian Living, loved by more than 200,000 Canadians, over 10,000 five-star reviews. There's no going into stores and laying on mattresses and pushy salespeople, and it is easy. It's online. It's delivered in a box to your doorstep with free shipping, coast to coast to coast. It is the industry-leading risk-free trial. What if I don't like it? This feels like a big commitment. Well, how's 365 nights to give it a spin? Is that going to be all right?
I like that.
You don't like it, you get the full refund, no questions asked. Douglas donates mattresses to local charities, and for a limited time, if you order your mattress at douglas.ca/FlamesNation, every mattress order comes with a free comfort sleep bundle, 2 memory foam pillows with pillow protectors, 1 luxurious cotton sheet set, and 1 mattress protector. A $650 value, yours for free when you order a Douglas mattress now, made proudly in Calgary, right here in our city.
Love it.
How about it? douglas.ca/FlamesNation.
Calgary zone.
Give us an update, Rhett. Where are you?
We just we left Wendy's. Boys were in there pigging out. So
Is that right? What did we go
Doing
with?
the daily face-off. Yeah.
huh? Where are we going?
What did you go with? What did you order? What were they eating?
Oh, what did I go with? I got Dave's Double Standard. It's my go-to.
There you
Fries. Get a couple fries on there. Make it Primanti style.
go. Mm-hmm.
And do you remember the donkey we used to work with that had the advice on all the fountain drinks? Iced tea at Wendy's.
Is that what
Nice
it
tea
is?
to move there.
I can never remember.
I think
He
so.
wanted Sprite. Was it Sprite from Burger King or
He said
something?
the Coke
He had a
Zip
lot
was
of
the best at
different-
one
yeah.
certain
There was
place,
Coke
not
Zip
others.
somewhere. Yeah, he
Yeah.
was big on that.
You still have to do that. You need a camera, and you
Oh,
guys need to
fuck.
roll. You guys need to roll.
It's pretty low on my priority list of things I
Well,
need to
screw
do
you,
right
because
now.
it would be awesome.
Yeah, it'd be so great.
It would be.
Wendy's, of course, it's the Daily Face-Off Survivor Pool. You go to dailyfaceoff.com, top right corner, you'll see the Wendy's link, and you click on it. You make your little, oh, I'd like to register. Yeah, so then you can play along, and then each day there's a new set of potential outcomes. 10.
Mhm.
You pick one. If it hits, you're alive for the next day, and then the next day, and then the next day, and you can win points on the Wendy's app and turn it into real food.
Eh?
Dave's Double or whatever Warner was having in there. Could be having it for free with your points on the Wendy's app. So get after it. Go get it. Go get it. Time for the Pinder Report, a presentation of Village Honda. There it is. Look at Wendy. Ah, she's sweet.
You into redheads, Rhett?
Absolutely. Saw one on the airplane the other day. Gorgeous. Lovely.
Was it Wendy?
What? I don't know. Looked like a Kathy.
It's like
Might have been a
Like
Kathy.
the cartoons, the comic strip?
Wasn't a Karen. Definitely not a Karen.
No.
don't need a
Maybe a
Karen.
cat.
Not too many
I-
Karen.
No.
There's a few Karens popping up on my social media feed. It's weird.
Is that right?
Still around.
Hmm.
Village Honda, located in the Northwest Auto Mall. The 2024 Honda Accord was redesigned last year, chosen by Car and Driver magazine as the #1 mid-sized sedan. One of the most reliable vehicles on the road, is now better than ever. Superior ride quality, reliability, and impressive fuel economy, all thanks to the EXL Hybrid. Check out the Accord and more at the Northwest Auto Mall and online at villagehonda.com as they present the Pinder Report.
Fellas, yesterday an off day for the Flames, kind of. They did not skate. They did play poker. It was the Ambassadors Poker Tournament, which is always a great opportunity for fans to get up close and personal with the club. Put on a cowboy hat, Rat. Really just relax.
I got a lot of pictures yesterday from a lot of people. They look, everyone looks older, but similar. Like
Mm.
this has been a long-standing tradition now.
It is true. Yeah, it's a banger. That's probably the event of the year if you want access and fun and
I also
booze, cowboy hats. It's good.
Didn't want to jump in there, but I was going to say, I remember it was years ago when there was a photo. I think it was Bennett and Monahan had their hats on backwards, and that just rubbed Rhett the wrong way. I was going to put some photos on from yesterday. There's between your Kuzmenkovs and Sharon Govich's, there's not a lot of Western style on the team right now. A lot of white runners. And open the snap shirts, but opened with t-shirts underneath, and they got cowboy hats on. So to their credit, but
where are we at with Western Canadian content? That is an interesting point. I haven't really thought about that. I know the Pahal kid they brought in, and he's got Western roots.
He's from Saskatchewan,
good Sasky boy, right? Yeah. But I mean, this was a staple of Sutter teams in the mid double O's.
Yeah. It's
a little light.
I was gonna not an all-time low, but certainly.
Well, and Dubé's off the roster. He's a Cochrane boy. That's some local content.
Yeah. Ontario. We've got some Americans. A lot of Americans.
Lots of Yanks. Yeah.
To be quite honest. Yeah, it's
got a Belarusian and a Russian.
It's interesting. Hey, maybe that's what it's all about. They got to go back to basics, retro. Get some.
Now, were those teams good that had all the Western Canadians?
Sweden, Toronto, Quebec, Sweden, Cranbrook for Dryden Hunt, Minsk, Plano, Texas. Rooney's an American. Pelche is Quebec, Sweden, Saskatoon, Connor Zary, Buffalo, Ottawa, Boston, Stockholm, Sioux Falls, Slovakia, Prague, Dearborn Heights. That's not Alberta, is it?
Oh. No, that sounds Yank.
Toronto, Michigan. London, Estevan, Joliet, Quebec. That's where
a lot of Quebec and Sweden, Dean. A lot of Quebec and Sweden.
So we don't have an Alberta. There's no Alberta kid on the team.
A bit of Sasky there, but that's about it.
Saskers.
Yeah, Dubé, but no more.
Well, how do you expect to win?
Well, and to be fair, there's a lot of good players from all over. I don't know when they went full in on Alberta. That was peak Flames. It kind of felt like the late 80s was a lot of everywhere. So maybe that's the template anyway. Let's move to the standings. What are the Flames looking at here in the wild card? Big win for Nashville last night in Vegas, no less, Dino. They move into a kind of tie with the St. Louis Blues, who hold a game in hand on Nashville and hold the final wild card. If it looks like the Kings are starting to pull away, it's because they've won 4 in a row since that 7-0 shellacking they took in Buffalo. Remember about a week ago, Dean? It was like, holy fuck, rock bottom for the Kings. Well, it was. They've bounced back. Rallied from deficits in Boston and Pittsburgh in back-to-back games on the road.
Too good to be that bad. And again, you feel for it's kind of like Woodcroft and Edmonton. You knew that team was going to turn it around.
Yeah.
But they fire the coach. Is this because Todd McClellan couldn't coach that group? I don't think so.
No.
But sometimes it's just
need a reset.
Just need a reset.
It's a power cycle, just a hard reset.
Yeah.
We'll get to some of the Kings action last night in a moment. 2 for Dubois, I believe, and a goal of the year nominee. But first, the Flames schedule. Let's take a peek. Why is it so slow? Well, because look at this. That's 2 weeks and 4 games. That's Thursday, Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday. That's it. That's all. Bruins, they looked great, did the Flames in Boston after the All-Star break. Bruins looked like, well, not the Bruins, that's for sure. They look brutal in that one. So we'll see if they're any better tomorrow night. Then it is the Battle of Alberta in Edmonton on Saturday. We'll be at Greta Bar. Head to nationgear.ca to get your tickets. $10. Going to be well worth that with prizes, swag, drink specials, complimentary shot after the Flames' first goal, should they score one. And then it's the Kings on Tuesday, first of a couple visits here in Calgary between now and the end of the season. We haven't seen the Kings since before Christmas, and that was in LA. So, Kings coming in looking a little better than they have been of late. Then, of course, it's Pittsburgh and Seattle to wrap the homestand. Pittsburgh is Mika night on March 2nd, which we talked about at length with our boy Noodles just moments ago. That's kind of what we're looking at for the schedule. A lot of home dates. All they do is leave for Edmonton for one night.
Boy, Pittsburgh's in a bad way, man.
Yeah, they are.
I was looking this morning. They're 1-4-1 in their last 6. And where's it here?
Poor Jack knows it's not lost on him. He's kind of a Steelers and Penguins honk.
Evgeny Malkin, no goals in his last
Yeah.
8. They signed Puljujarvi. He had nothing in 6 before being healthy scratched last night. They have 3 regulation wins in their last 14 games.
Not enough, Dean.
Doesn't feel like it's enough.
And then Gensel got hurt. They could still trade him, but it makes it just a little more complicated. It sounds like he might be healthy a week or 2 after the deadline.
You know what I would do if I'm Craig Conroy? I'm trading for Jake Gensel.
That sounds idiotic. Please walk me through why that makes any sense.
He's a good player. He's available. You're going to have a plethora of picks. So
you don't want to just sign him as a free agent this summer?
I don't think, you'd need the deal in place. Is I guess what I'm kind of getting at.
So you would give up assets for a rental for this year?
No, I sign him, get him signed as part of the trade and bring him in. I would be very happy. I know that where Pittsburgh is at, they're very old. I get it. I think Jake Gensel is a fine player.
Very good player. The type of player contender wants to add at a very expensive price. We'll see what he gets if they put him on the market.
In that Hronek kind of thinking, right?
Yeah, but Hronek at term. And I don't think Getzel's going to re-up for what they're looking at the next 3 years here, right? I mean, I know what you're saying. He's a very good player. But the fit is with a contender right now. That's who's going to swap for him at the deadline.
I understand.
How about this? Big day down memory lane. Look at this old beauty who we had in studio last year, a week before he was sent to the Hall. Front Street and King, or Front and Young, Hockey Hall of Fame. 1986, this day. Mike Vernon's first NHL shutout. Oh, and he blanked the Canucks.
Man, look at that. I remember
the Canucks.
That's how friggin' old I am. I remember it was like, wow, they can put color on pads. See his right pad. Of course, it's still the brown leather, but the Cooper with the red background. Whoa.
Down the side there.
Oh,
fancy.
The waffle board blocker, the Vic stick. Is that a CCM helmet with the HM30 mask? God. And there's not a lot of Mike Vernon there either. Hey,
I was going to say there's lots of net behind him.
The net is probably the same size.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Not a lot of Vernie there.
If you overlaid Markstrom there, you would not see any of Vernon.
Yeah.
He would completely disappear. So tip of the cap to our pal Vernie for a shutout.
Yeah,
many moons ago.
86.
Many moons ago. 38 years ago? Yeah, that's a while. Jeez. Goal of the year candidate last night. We talked about the Kings. They're rolling. This is the first goal of the game last night, and it is a gem. We got a couple different angles. Quinton Byfield, Dean, not available.
With speed, Byfield.
Whoop.
Around one man.
Kick. Whoop. Think. Oh.
You're talking a big man right there, back, and then able to
That is so dirty.
He has to get it over the pad. Now, this is
I can't think of a better goal in the league this year, Dean. That is special. And they're starting to feel it, the Kings.
And Werenski is thinking, oh
God.
I'm going to be on this. I am going to be the one getting hooped inside out on this goal for the remainder of time.
Posterized. That's what they call it in the NBA.
Yeah, it's not.
You're a victim there. Hey, big minutes, Zach. You play a lot. It's going to happen. You just got to next shift, head up.
Well, see, Conroy took too long. Should have traded for him earlier.
Well, I felt
because I'm kind of with you. I think it's going to be hard to pry him out of there now.
Yeah, and Grant Clark scored a big OT winner. I think that was in Pittsburgh. He's probably not moving, but they got lots of kids.
Well, Grant Clark, maybe still time, but
he's a player.
Byfield, 18 goals, 42 points in 52 games.
So not quite a point per game, but just starting to click.
But he's just a wee babe.
And he's a monster too. He's a moose. That's
21, 6'5", 2 1/4.
2 1/4. Huh. Yeah, they're not moving him. I've got Mac Dog with home point streak written down here. Look at this. Last night, Colorado. It was 26 games in a row. Nathan McKinnon had a point. He had nothing until the Canucks pulled their goalie, Arturi. Look at it. He scored into an empty net. McKinnon got the helper. The season-long home point streak still alive. Do it, Nate Dogg. Do it. Would that not be crazy? Gretzky did it once, apparently. Every single home game, I got a point in all of them. Season ticket holders, you're welcome.
Sure.
Not my
Very
fault.
good player.
Very good player.
Good player. An empty netter.
No, point streak. And quite a heart race we've got because, of course,
My heart's racing.
It's
clogged, but it's racing.
Have you seen a physician about that?
Yeah, even here at a resting heart rate, just racing.
Like a hummingbird.
Yeah.
Careful there. Slow movements, okay? Don't
It's
stray
all
too
very
far from
slow.
the house.
Yeah.
Tonight, here's what we're looking at. What's on the slate? Pretty light. A couple gems in the evening, though. 3 8:00 starts, Dino. I'm going to let you pass on Columbus and Anaheim, but we do have Austin Matthews back in the desert. And Bruins Oilers, that is a rematch of the 1990 Stanley Cup final, if I'm correct.
Is it a D? I brought this up before, and I hate to derail you.
A D.
But is it a D at the end of the word desert?
It's T. Desert.
Okay.
I probably say desert.
You do, but I just, because I thought maybe I had it wrong. But what kind of you talk about a good old-fashioned slobber knocker, like we were saying earlier. Boston, Edmonton.
Yeah.
Could be a cup final preview, Ryan Pinder.
Well, a rematch from 90, as I was saying.
Ooh.
Cam Neely's hot. He's ready to get some revenge here.
Well, you know, that whole thing, the lights went out or the power went out at the Boston Garden. Remember there was
Peter
fog in the
Klima.
glass. Peter Klima.
Stinking Klima.
Andy Moger in the
Andy.
other net.
And Ticton's finest.
Curtis Curve. Glenn Wesley.
Ray Bork?
Was Raymond Borks? Yeah, of course he was.
Gotta be, yeah.
Yeah.
Adam
Raymond
Oates, maybe
Bork.
even? Hmm?
What about Hoggy? Was Hoggy there? Little
Benoit?
Greg Hoggett.
Oh, Greg, okay.
Ooh, we might have been.
I think Hoggy might have been there.
In Edmonton or Boston, because he was both, wasn't he?
What about your buddy Joey Juno? Was he there for that?
Oh, he's a good player.
Ooh, I don't think he. That would be interesting, actually. Was he? Was that his first year?
I can Google it.
All right, you Google that.
Oh, good.
Dean, you were asking, hey, Pinder, what would the White Sox stadium look like if instead of a field, it was just filled with lava? So
That's
we went to work
exactly
on
what I was
that
saying,
because
yeah.
I know that was bugging you. There you go. Do you remember when early on in our time at the old place when I joined your show, I went on a baseball road trip in the summer and there was 4 games in a row at Guaranteed Rate Field, or whatever the hell they called it in Chicago at the time.
Yeah.
And the one day I was going to pay a little extra to get closer to the mound to watch Marcus Stroman, who lasted 2/3 of an inning, the shortest outing of his career.
See, he's a prick.
Molten lava.
Yeah.
That's what it
Well,
was,
that's good.
basically.
Yeah. That's a negative for Joe Juno in 1990.
Just missed it, eh?
Yeah. He was on it was the Canadian national team
Ah,
for Joey Juno.
wonder if Dave King was coaching that team.
Port Rouge, Quebec native.
Huge day in Victoria, Dean. Cavalry FC against Orlando City of the MLS. This is leg 1 of 2 in the
City.
Champions Cup. Orlando City.
Oh,
And this is being played in Langford, which is just
Clump.
part of Victoria. There it is. 8:00 tonight, Calgary time. 7 if you're in Victoria. Ship and Anchor and Kildare's Ale House down south. Those are your options. Go get it. But soldiers,
Get the mussels at Kildare's if you're gonna go.
very good food there. That's a nice pub. I was quite impressed.
Free plugs,
Not a-
just free plugs everywhere.
Proper game. Well, look, you're going to show the game, Dean. It's on One Soccer as well if you got the app.
Well, yeah, you can. So they're showing the game. We're giving them free plugs.
There's
Maybe
2
get
places
some-
in the city. Show
Maybe
the
get some Barn Burner Blonde on tap. Then we'll start talking
game. Yeah,
about
okay, let's do it.
Good
Kildare,
point
you and
by
your
you.
muscles.
Everyone loves goalie goals, right? You love when the goalie comes out to play the puck.
Man, I get wet.
So exciting.
So you're going to need a towel and a smoke, Dean.
Oh
'cause
my God.
this is
Don't do
5
it.
on-
Whatever you do,
5
don't.
on 5, all
Don't
goal.
show-
Look at this dumb shit. This is unbelievable.
Terrible.
This is what they need at the All-Star game. This is better than Kucherov half-assing it through drills.
This is horrendous.
This
Beautiful.
is,
Look at all the goalies. Look at
all-
this.
you know why he's doing this, Dean? Because he's got a goalie in his family, and he wants.
it is?
Now it's all about goaltending.
No, the algorithm spat this one out at me. I wasn't hunting this. There's bingo right there. Good work.
No mascot fights.
My
don't think
idiot brothers,
so, too.
his team. They were in a tournament in small town Saskatchewan. A final, Dean. A final.
Yeah.
Went to overtime, didn't score. 4-4, didn't score. 3-3, didn't score. 2-2, no goals.
Come on.
1-on-1, no goals. The goalies had to take a face-off and play one against each other.
That's unbelievable.
ridiculous.
Yes. Yes.
That's crazy.
It's the stupidest
And
thing
the
I've ever
Zamboni
seen.
guy's just like hammering, bam, bam, bam.
Yeah, Zamboni's
Oh.
going.
Oh, it was a small town. Small town, you got lots of ice. All the ice.
All right, all right.
How don't you score 1-on-1?
That is
I
wild.
don't
the goal
know.
is just dialed.
1-on-1.
Yeah.
Because even 1-on-1's ridiculous.
That's 2-on-2 is I've never even
2-on-2
that.
play
That's
till there's a
wild.
goal would seem to be as silly as it should get, but
Yes, agreed.
Late 80s. Late 80s.
How
Small
about it?
town Sask.
nice.
In Winnipeg, they're loving that Pierre-Luc Dubois trade, aren't they? You know, they got Velarde,
Why?
Follow, Rasmus Kupari, and look at this genius of the no one's going to know that's a Dubois jersey as he's X'd it out with tape and written Velarde, Campari, Iafallo. Impressive. He adds
Well,
that
yeah, the
too.
Impressive is, yeah,
It's a cultural city, Dean. I got a note from someone today. I said, "Hey, you want some tonight? The Calgary game, the Strippenhager?" And he said, "I'm in Winnipeg." And I said, "Oh." He said, "Yeah, a little rough around these parts these days." And I said, "Stabby?" Question mark. And he said, "Correct."
yeah.
So where hasn't changed since you visited this summer. Still
Nope.
Stabby.
It's quite a town.
I bet you there's some good ice fishing out there, though. Don't you think, Dean?
Anything that's on the outskirts is better than the inskirts. I don't know, is that a word? But yes, anything. God.
A lot of skirts.
Yeah.
No skirts here. This is ice fishing. I'm sure this is near Winnipeg. And what a setup you got here. So this looks like a nice tent. They've got a little seat built in there, Dean. 2 holes,
Mhm.
maybe 3. And the one guy's going out to rip a piss or go get darts or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But, just make it comfy. They got a little window on the side. I didn't realize these tents were so fancy.
Oh, this
Yes.
isn't. I mean,
Well, they gotta have the windows closed.
he's got the snow machine hooked to the. Come on, dude.
He
You had the snow machine somehow hooked to the
he didn't
to the
unhook it.
shack.
Oh, dear. Not good.
Come on, dummy.
Maybe fishing in warmer climes is what you're dreaming of, Rhett. I know you like ice fishing, but you'd probably rather be in Florida on a pier somewhere fishing.
It's big there, ice fishing.
Even California, I know down in LA, off the big piers, people will
Yeah.
fish.
Oh,
surfing
yeah.
and ice fishing.
Well, you got to watch for surfing, though, because look at this guy here. He got hooked, it looks like.
Look at string out! Let the string out!
Got the string out.
Get your goddamn light out of here! Fucking moron!
Oh, caught me a big one.
God damn it!
And you know what? He's like, yeah,
Oh.
I'm done for the day.
I guess that's.
I might pack it up a little early today.
I hope he was barbless there. I'd be son of a gun if he hooked him with a barbed hook.
Ouch.
I feel like I'd have stronger words. You know what I mean? I feel like I'd have a stronger response to being hooked
Yeah.
by a fisherman.
The surfers are pretty chill, though, right? You know that, right?
I'm
That's
curious
what it
though.
is, I guess.
What's a surfer doing? That I am like truly. If you were to talk,
It's where
what's the protocol?
Waves are breaking.
Because
waves
he's
are
not the
breaking.
only dude fishing.
Catch a wave, you're sitting on top of the world. He's just riding the surf, following the waves, dude.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I mean, who of us was on the cover of Surf Magazine? If I want to jog your memory, you don't need to talk
That
to
was
me
you,
about
Dean.
surfing.
It was you. What year was
was
it again?
yeah.
Surf Magazine.
Which is why I
Cover.
wonder. That doesn't seem like a traditional spot to be.
Those guys are
ripping
small wave.
tide.
Those guys are small wave surfers. They got little skim
Yeah, not
boards. You were,
longboards like you.
yeah, you were a big wave surfer. You were.
Yeah,
out in
you're
the
not
deeps.
hanging 10 right there. That seems silly.
No.
He doesn't seem like much of a surfer to me.
We knew you were on the surfing magazine. You ever get into scooters or, on the scooter in the skate park? You can flip them around, do all kinds of.
Well, it depends. What are we talking about? Scooters, or because it's kind of the same skill, right? It's
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, probably toes facing north, not east west. But anyway, this is a dad picked up late. You got to pick it up as a kid, otherwise your balance is off. And do put a helmet on. That'd be a good idea too, I think.
Oh,
Right. Kim Kite.
Oh,
Oh dear.
the
That's gonna
fact
make
he's
it.
feeling.
Oh,
Oh,
That's
zombie.
that
Oh,
that is
tombstone.
cracking skull right there.
Yeah, that's tough.
yeah, that's
But,
not hanging 10. That's
That's gonna make the top 10 on CTE ESPN tonight.
Yeah.
Jack can't get enough of the CTE ESPN jokes.
oh man. Can you imagine the sound that would have made?
Oh,
His skull cracking that pavement.
Barf.
It'd be
Whack.
similar to like when Vladdy assaults a baseball, just that thwack. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, damage.
And you know he's concussed when he starts like
Big.
Can't
rubbing
find-
his
yeah.
head with his forearm. Oh, you're
Not
you're
good.
out.
Rhett likes cats. He loves cats, eh?
Loves cats.
love
eh?
cats.
They need
That's
it.
why
The
they
mother's
need.
teat.
Why
Yeah.
do they need
Stimulate the milk, Dean. At the
from
teat.
where though?
From the
It?
teat.
Teat.
God.
The mother's teat. But why do humans need cats? That's a better question. This video answers it. Oh, what do you got there? What do you got there? Oh,
Oh, this cat is
Blood in.
failing.
Gonna need more
Blood.
cats.
be better, cat. You should be fat as hell.
That
Eating
cat's been
mice all day.
shirking its responsibilities.
Serious.
Yeah.
Pull your weight, bud.
not a
Nice
mouser.
hot day. You probably want a really nice glass of freshly squeezed juice, don't you, Dean?
I love freshly squeezed juice. You find this stuff.
Oh dear. Yeah, but tough day at work. Get those
Yeah.
feet back on.
Get gonna wash them first. Kind of sanitize those dogs. No, all right. Just get it right in there, I guess.
Oh,
What are we looking at? Mangoes, or what do we got going in there?
I mean, that looks like a mango. Yeah.
Favorite fruit.
Is it?
And look at the line.
Oh, yeah.
That must be the best stuff in town. All right, enough. Damn it, Jack.
No kidding enough.
And these little janky roadside carnival rides, don't do them, guys. Don't do them. Just don't, okay?
State.
How many warnings? How many Pinder reports do we have to show you? This is
Well, it
stress
sounds like
inducing.
it's in good working order.
There's some sort of a motor in there that you have to wind it up and then it gets going. Oh, okay. Everything's all right.
Oh.
Fun. Oh,
Oh, look at that big
flipperoos.
spinner there. Everyone's having a laugh, team. No problems here.
This is nice.
Okay.
It's good times. Oh, yeah.
Uh-oh.
Guys.
Really speeding up now.
Okay.
Let's
At least the carny's
Mo-
paying attention.
Guys. A break. Oh no. This it looks
Oh.
stable. I will give him that.
It's anchored well.
Yes. Which,
Yeah, the only thing that didn't happen that I thought was going to is they didn't fly out.
Yeah, they didn't fly out and it didn't
Yes.
come unhinged or something.
it was stressful because I was waiting for that, but it just never happened. So
I was also
Might
waiting
have been
for him
worse.
for dude to kind of walk in front of it to slow it down or something. 'cause
I'll
that
catch
would've
you.
worked. Yeah, that would have worked well too.
Now, if you're not feeling well, maybe it's the winter. Our immune systems get run down. Right? What is it?
Sure,
Less
yeah.
vitamin D.
Vitamin
things
D.
like that.
Vitamin D.
Yeah, D is
Yep.
a big one. And so, what would you instruct someone if they weren't feeling well? What was a meal that they would enjoy, Dean, to maybe feel better?
Chicken noodle soup.
Chicken soup, absolute. Look at this.
sangre? ¿No? La elegancia.
I'm not looking at that. There's just
Dean,
no.
it's double. It's a double order. Look,
No,
Dean.
I'm
Okay,
not.
It's off
No.
the screen. It's off.
No, it's not.
Put it back
Yeah,
up
it's
then,
off.
Jack.
No, Jack.
Okay, now we're ready. And welcome back, Dean. One more little flash.
Don't do it. Chicken soup.
Finally, we have a crackhead against a crocodile. Louisiana, baby.
All
Let's
right.
go.
Ow.
Oh, no.
Dude, let go.
No. What are you doing? Go pick a fight with a crocodile. It's a freaking dinosaur.
Yeah, he's listening. He's talking trash right there, but
Oh,
the croc
God.
doesn't seem intimidated.
And now remember the shark where the guy lost his pinky? My damn pinky.
Yeah.
It's similar with the croc. As soon as they get you, it's just instinctual to just twist and spin and shake and
Yeah,
really
the old
mess you
death
up.
spin.
Yeah,
Mm.
no messing around. Anyway, enjoy your soup today, Dean, and that is your Pinder Report on this fine Wednesday.
Yeah, preach. Thanks for that. Village Honda, huge selection of pre-owned vehicles, all makes, all models, all budgets, over 90 units on site, access to more than 500 more inside the dealership group. It makes Village Honda truly your one-stop automotive destination in Calgary, located in the Northwest Auto Mall. They are worth the trip. Thanks for all of that, Ryan.
You're very welcome. I'll be back tomorrow.
All of that was very necessary and appreciated.
Well, I was going to use the chicken soup yesterday, but I knew that
You want
were
to save
back
it because
today.
I'm a big soup guy. Yeah,
That's right.
Thanks for that.
Love soup. Yeah.
Appreciate that for sure. By the light of the silvery moon. So I didn't realize, I guess when I got looking at it, I didn't realize that the Bruins played tonight. So back-to-back games for the Bruins when they hit town.
Well, yeah, we talked about Oilers Bruins, right? So
Yeah,
there
yeah.
you go. But I like your logic. Checks out.
Sure. Yeah, it does check out. So
So they must be getting the Flames will get the bad Bruins goalie, right?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Wrong. They don't
Both of
have
them
one.
with their 9 whatever save percentages and 2.1 whatever.
So there's a
something.
lot of teams that can't find a goal. There's hogging too.
Right.
They are hogging. Yeah.
They're hogging for sure. Swayman's an RFA this summer, so we'll see what happens there. But they got 2 good goalies. I was looking at it actually. I
Were
didn't want
you?
to blow Noodles' doors off with trade stuff because we've done it every goddamn week forever, and we got more left. But there's been this thought, like, when do you trade Markstrom? If you're going to trade Markstrom, because those that don't want to trade him, that's fine. But if you're making your mind up that okay, this is a guy you could really help stock the cupboards by moving. The deadline's one pressure point, and if you're a team that needs goaltending that thinks you're a cup contender, if you upgrade goaltending, wow, what a good time to sell goalies. This is a unique spot the Flames are in. The other is that free agency is absolutely garbage for goalies this year. Like, I think it's 36-year-old Cam Talbot, 39-year-old Marc-Andre Fleury are the top 2 goalies in terms of appearances this year that are free agents. It is a who's who of platoon backups and number 2s. Markstrom this summer might be a really, really sneaky, valuable time to move him.
Yeah. I mean, it's such a weird. I feel like the why trade Markstrom will almost kind of start to seep back in by the summertime. You'll start, well, we've got this player and you got this. It's like, oh, I don't know if what's the offer going to be? That's the thing. That's what it comes down to.
Yes.
Well, should you trade Markstrom? Well, you should if the offer's any good. And if it's nothing but shit offers, then no, you don't trade him. You
Correct,
can use the macro and the age and how good Wolf is going to be or whatever. That's all well and good. But if there's no offers that are even close, then we're going to be keeping him, is what it ends up being. And it's not what's this philosophy? Why would the Flames keep him? The offers are shit. That's why.
Yeah.
And
It
he-
sounded
the
like the
second
jersey offer was substantial. We didn't get
Yeah.
great authority on what it was, but it sounded like that was not going to be insignificant. And I think that's kind of where Connie's at. Like,
Yeah.
give me a legit offer or we're not moving him.
They just need, you know what, New Jersey? He's a good goalie.
See it again last night.
Just pay up.
Shot and allowed what, 5 or 6? Ooh.
Old Nico Dawes.
What
Not
about
the answer.
Carolina? Are they going to do it?
They just got Freddie Anderson skating again. So who knows? They got that 3-headed monster, Ranta, Anderson, Kochetkov.
Thing is that, do
None
you
of them are as
feel
good as
it,
Markstrom, I'll tell you that.
if you are the Canes, do you feel like you can rely on Freddie Anderson going into a playoffs? And I don't mean his performance. I just
No,
mean his
health.
durability.
Ever.
He just never
No.
seems to be healthy for them when they need him.
Ranta feels like a backup. Kochetkov has flashed at times and looked like, ooh, this is their future number one. And then he struggled for half year this year. Really, probably the only real dip he's had in the NHL was the first half of the season. So, yeah, I don't know. LA, all three guys are up at the end of the year. Riddick, Copley, and Talbot. Do they look to lock in to a number one for the next 2-3 years?
Yeah, Freddie
That's
Anderson.
what Markstrom would be.
34 games. And even I was going to last year in 33 starts, a 903 and a 248. He's okay. Frederick Anderson.
Yeah, no, he's fine. It's just he's never healthy when you need him to be healthy. Yeah. You nailed it. I think he got hurt in the playoffs last year.
Yeah. So somebody should just pay.
Yeah.
Just pay.
LA, Toronto, Jersey, Carolina. One of you guys get her going here.
What do you think the mood's like around the team right now, Retro, where you're obviously every day, I don't know if you knew this, you're getting closer to the trade deadline.
Is that right?
But now you have Tanev, who I am sure everybody loves. Chris Tanev. He probably hasn't said a word. It's just what kind of the way I see it is he would not have said a word about trades or anything. He's not going to talk about it. He's there to play. Hanifin has essentially given his answer that he's not staying.
Yep.
So in a way, that's kind of a statement without saying anything. So, and then you've got the goalie who's somewhere in limbo. It's just got to be Weirdsville in that locker room.
I would think for a rookie coach, this is very difficult. And I think he's doing a good job of it. I don't know what his philosophy is or his approach to it is, but you're going to have a mixed bag of emotion in that room, a mixed bag of focus. And how is he keeping them together and moving in the right direction? It's not been perfect, obviously, with some of the losses, but we forget about that, right? You ask about the room and what are the players going through and this and that. Huska's, he's been around the game and he's been around coaching, so he's got some tendencies. But this is a rookie coach in the NHL. How's he handling it and doing such a good job of it, in my opinion, anyway?
Yeah, and it's been really streaky, right? So it's like they win 4, they lose 4, they win 4, they lose 3, they've won 1. How you feel about how that room is probably changes week to week, but what we're all in agreement on is that everyone knows it's coming. Like everyone knows they're carrying 8D for a reason, so they don't have to put these guys on waivers that are going to be their third pair in 2 weeks. Yeah,
and I think that it's in a way because they all know it's coming. It's not a. If I'm Hanifin, I said it the other day. I said this guy knows exactly what he's doing. Like we were all, well, maybe he's going to sign. Maybe no. He's playing with mental clarity. He knows exactly. He's not sitting around stressed out about, And I think probably if it gets a day or two before the trade deadline for a guy like Tanev or Markstrom, or if they haven't been moved, then there will be some stress because it's kind of a pinch point. But right now, you can think it's far enough out that. The other thing for these older guys, they're going to get talked to if there's conversation about trades, right? Maybe not so much Tanev, but I think probably there's enough respect that you'd want to keep them abreast of what's going on. Same when obviously Markstrom has some say in what's going on, but Hanifin has say in what's going on. So they would be known, or they would know what's going on to a certain extent, I would think. Yeah. Even if it's not from Conroy, it's their agents. Like this is one of the few times where the agents play into it and actually can do a lot of work.
Yesterday, I don't know if you saw it with Frank Dino, but I guess the news of the day on Hanifin was that Tampa is a preferred destination, and how that news gets out there and how someone like Frank finds it. There's lots of theories, but most of the time it's the representation of the player that makes it clear where they want him to go. Whether there's interest from Tampa or back remains to be seen. They do need a left shot defenseman. Sergachev's done for a while. I wonder about, that adds pressure to Connie. It doesn't mean he can't do well, but it makes things a little more complex. I don't know what you made of that yesterday.
You know what it is? I've said this before. I would have a hard time as a GM. I would love to. I think it'd be fascinating and all have the conversations and to work it and all that sort of thing. I'd have a hard time keeping personal emotions out of it after a certain point. When I've offered a guy $60 million and he's like, yeah, that sounds great. And then he says, actually, you know what? No, I don't. And then the season goes along and he's playing well and you come back. Now you don't want to be a part of it. I don't give a fuck where your preferred destination is.
Yeah.
That's how I would feel as someone who's proud of the franchise, who's proud of the jersey. It's like, I understand you have an 8, 10, 12 team, whatever. You're going to goddamn well go where I trade you because you don't want to be here. So now my loyalty is not to you or to your agent. It's to the guys in the room and to this team. I would just have a really hard time not voicing and being pissed off with that stuff.
The only other layer to it is if you get him signed to an extension and trade him, which we used to laugh about because it never happened, but we've seen a few now in the last few years. Do you get more? Yeah, you do. So you can't ignore that. Hey, Tampa, do you like this guy? We can go 8 times 8 with him and you can sort out the money, or, because you're tax friendly there. Let's call it 8 times 7 instead of 7.5. And you don't pay tax in Florida. You still might be coming out ahead.
I'd be tossing the keys to the agent and Brisebois. You guys figure some shit out. Whatever you want, you let me know if you get something done, and then I'll let you know how I feel about it.
Yeah, here's the package I need, and if you agree to that, you can talk to his agent.
So,
but it does make it tougher for Connie, because if word is out that Hanifin's thinking of only going to Tampa Bay, and again, that's a broad statement to make, but if you're another team, and I'll just say Toronto just because, but if you're in a team like Toronto and you're going, well, we wanted to re-sign him because he wants to go to Tampa Bay, we can't give you what you want.
Yeah.
I also think that this is kind of a bit of a leverage play from the agent. And don't tell me he's going to go to the Golden Knights and not enjoy it there, to Dallas if they go on a run that, oh no, I'm still like, you go to one of these places and you are in a winning culture. Like, I think there's lots of places no Hanifin to resign. Sure, you can have a favorite, but go dump him in a playoff run on a team that wins a few rounds. I think the likelihood of him resigning there is huge.
And I'm allowed to because I'm not the GM, but that's where you're right. Maybe it is a pinch, but that's a dick move by the agent.
If it is the agent, and I agree, it
right. Like if you're getting that out there, screw you. Like, what have the Flames done that you need to take full advantage of them and put them in a shittier spot than they already are? Like,
they offered you $60 million.
Yeah. All we've done is pay you your salary in full for whatever it is, 5 years, and offered you 60 and you turned it down, and put you in a spot to play well and have a career year going into potential odds. That's all we've done.
Run you on power play 1. Yeah.
And you've played well for us and we appreciate that. But this is not us not holding up our end of the bargain.
And you can do all that privately, Dean, right? That's the whole point. Like, if it's Tampa, go talk to Connie and Brisebois. Don't make it public.
And because I don't need you to get the message out that Hanifin's available.
Right.
The league knows that Hanifin's available. He's an unrestricted free agent who turned down $60 million. He's available. I don't need you to trumpet the news to other general managers. So it would be hard not to let it be personal. Like I said earlier when I brought it up to you, Red, about what the room's like, just seeing there's photos from the poker tournament yesterday, and there's Hanifin arm in arm with Uyghur and some of these other guys. It's like, yeah, okay, I'll take the picture. I'd be sour with, I just would. If I'm an all-in guy and I'm a competitor and I care about my team and what we're doing, you may as well be playing for somebody else right now. Because you're not here you're not part of what we're doing.
I said it yesterday to Pinder. I said I would have a hard time as GM because when I start to hear all this, I'd get sick of it and say, "I'll get the hell out of here. I'll just give me something. You're out."
Get emotional about it. And
The other thing is, like, it's pretty common. This isn't the original 6. The guys move a ton. It might be a bit cumbersome, but Hanifin wasn't the headache that Zadorov was. And Tanev are not. Elias Lindholm having a bad year, clearly not happy where he was. These guys have been showing up and putting in the work, and everyone knows something's going to happen, but be a good soldier until then. You've earned your right to go to free agency, and Connie certainly has the right to trade you before you turn into a pumpkin. They haven't asked for trades, right? They just have they've got their right to exercise free agency this summer.
It's right now, and I know when we talked about it in the offseason, just felt like if this is Conroy's job. Conroy's ready. He spent 9 years or whatever as an AGM. He's been scouting and all of that. This is another reason why I think Craig is well equipped to do this job, because he's a competitor, but he won't be overly emotional. He'll be able to take the bad with the good. Don't make decisions when you're overly high or overly low. That, you know, all that sort of thing. I just think he's going to be able to be even keeled. And if he does feel disrespected or he's upset about it, he's not going to let that factor into what he's doing. I feel like I have a lot of confidence in what he's going to be able to pull off here based on what we've seen. It's not been a year yet, but I don't think there's going to be that emotional, just get the hell out of here kind of a thing. And the best part is they need help skill wise, and they have 2 to 3 guys who would be at the top of the market. So you do have a really good opportunity with, I think you've got a good young GM with his head on straight, with a good scope on what the talent level will be coming in. And you've got some big names top of the market to get done. And Pinder said it before you got on there, Retro, that it does feel like the market, they're waiting for Craig. Well, as soon as Conroy does what he does with Hanifin and Tanev, then the market's going to kind of be set, and then we know what we're doing. I don't know if I've ever experienced it quite like this. There's been tradable assets, but not top of the market. Even Lindholm is gone. So,
well, and think about Lindholm. What happened the next day?
Yeah, the Monahan deal gets done.
And so teams that would have been interested in Monahan would have been interested in Lindholm. Only one Lindholm out there. So once we don't get Lindholm, okay, now we pivot to plan B. Okay, it's 80% of what Lindholm got. There's your deal for Monahan. That's what he's got on the D side. There's no one more attractive on the blue line than on the left side, Noah Hanifin, and on the right side, Chris Tanev. He controls the market.
Yeah. Well, it's not where you want to be, but if you got to be here, you may as well have some real good things to sell, and hopefully, you know,
bubble
whatever
turn up today. Let's go. Come on.
Tanev.
When would you sit, guys? I was looking at it. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games until the deadline. They play basically Thursday, Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday. That's the next 2 weeks. They wrap a homestand with Seattle, and they play 1 game in Tampa as part of that Southeast swing before the deadline hits. Like, what would you do, Rhett? Is Tanev already sitting? Is it the last 2 or 3?
I hate sitting guys. That's part of my problem. I get it, and I know you want to do it. And I don't think with Hanifin or Tanev or Markstrom or whoever it is that it's, if people don't know what they are and they need another viewing, then they should just not be involved in the sweepstakes. So you know what they are. So on one hand, it's like, sit them now.
Yeah. Yeah. Imagine if
4 more
like,
games.
The knock on wood scenario, like you've got a considerable pile of assets for either of these guys, a bigger one for Hanifin for sure. But to watch one of those things turn to 0 would be a nightmare. Like what is it really worth here?
That could be, I mean, you're talking about possible franchise changing stuff.
It really, honestly, it is. I was trying to think of an analogy. It's like having something very extremely valuable in your regular life and just leaving it in the backyard and it might rain. Can't do it. That's potentially it's a big part of our life there. I'm with you. They're definitely not going on the trip to Florida. Because you're not playing it. I'm not playing in that Tampa game. You may as well
1 game.
Sit by your phone. But go to the airport. How about
go to O'Hare? You can get a direct flight everywhere.
Grab a room at the Radisson at the airport or wherever the hell it is, and stay there. But I'm with you. I said it last week. If you need to see more games to know what Chris Tanev's all about, then you're in the wrong business.
Yeah,
you know what Chris Tanev is, and the fewer games he plays is not only the less chances for him to get hurt, it's more opportunity for him to work on whatever bumps and bruises he's already got.
Which is a bunch. He always does.
So
Tanev's a different risk profile than most. Like Hanifin's been incredibly durable his time here. I'm going to go look. I doubt he's missed 10 games in 5 years. It'd be crazy how durable he's been. But Tanev's gone down the tunnel 6 to 10 times this year. Like, can't risk it.
If you're smart, you'd sit him now.
I'm kind of with you. You've got Shillington back, which makes things easier. Because remember, for a long time we talked about it. Shillington wasn't in the equation. You traded Zadorov and got nothing back. So how many minutes can Weegar and Anderson play? And Hanifin to a certain point, but Hanifin less so, I think. But I'd just be saying to Chris, It's the best thing for the franchise. I know you always want to play. We love you. You've been a great soldier, but we're all adults. We're all pros. We know what's happening here. And I would guess that while Craig holds out for more, there's probably a deal that's been offered that you'd be satisfied with to a certain, do you know what I mean? There's probably a second and that's been offered, and you're going to try and squeeze for a first or something a little bit better. But worst case, you've probably got something on your desk that you'd sign off on.
Yeah. I think because there's 10 to 12 teams in there, or whatever it is, that you're hoping one's going to feel the heat of being like, okay, if I miss on this guy, what's my next best option? Like, oh
yeah.
All right. It's a late first anyway here. That's what they want. But yeah, and Hanifin, his first year here, 80 out of 82. The next year he played 70. I don't know if that was 71 or 72 they played that year. That was the COVID shutdown. The next year was 48 games or 56. He played 47, 81, 81. Like he's durable as hell. I don't worry about that asset. Tanev's a very different beast.
Yeah. It feels almost that you're fortunate to have gotten this far in this season.
Yeah.
What are they in 50 some odd games or 60 that he's
and
good.
playing the amount he's playing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's how I feel.
What, you let him play against the Bruins and showcase him against the Oilers? Where you go? Because again, the Oilers haven't seen him. They don't know what kind of player he is, right, Dean?
Yeah. How are you supposed to know? Yeah. It's a couple weeks. What do you want to do, Chris? Turks and Caicos? Where do you want to go? Actually, it's too far in case we trade, and then they're going to want you. Have a couple spa days, his and her massages. We'll get you set up at
teams at home. You got to stay in shape. You go morning skate, you go to practices, come down. We got some popcorn, some nachos.
Yeah.
Put the salsa right in the cheese. You get your own little sweet up there.
Yeah. Get your mullet. Get it all ready. Still want you around. You're a great positive presence for the team.
Pack your bag, get those fake teeth in that little Ziploc in your shaving bag. Let's go.
That's right. We got it figured out. We know.
And
you're welcome.
Tanev a righty. Don't be surprised if you see Uyghur slide to his natural right side for the first. He doesn't have done it often in Calgary. Anderson and Uyghur would be your top two righties, and maybe you get a Shillington Anderson combo.
Would you trade him to Edmonton?
I need more.
Who?
Not for the same price as elsewhere.
Chris Tanev.
I don't care about that stuff. Yes.
No.
You wouldn't do it?
For more. It has to be more than everyone else is offering. It's not the same price for Edmonton. That would be my policy.
Okay.
For the 30 teams in the NHL, there's one price for the Oilers. It's that plus. And you know how that rivalry resonates in the building with ownership, management, high ups. I think the price is different. I really do.
Yeah, I do too.
He's kind of a piece they're missing. Like they're not missing much there. That's one of the pieces they're missing. If you can get Cody Ceci onto your third pair, you're much better. Darnell Nurse is going to look better with Chris Tanev.
Ekholm and Bouchard, Darnell Nurse with Chris Tanev on the right side.
Now you got a top four.
It's pretty good. That feels like a D that you can
be a first.
Go to battle with. And they've got a first.
Dick Broberg too.
I don't know. It probably doesn't matter because it's so stupid. But what's Tanev want? Like if I've got three teams that are offering pretty much the same thing, if I'm Conroy, I'm going to where you want to go.
Yeah, if it's Evie
because it does give you some guys talk, right? If you're treated right, guys will remember that and spread that word.
Yeah, you're right.
There's value to that for sure. I
don't know how much. You're not going to.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go find a young center, Connie. Let's go. Come on.
And that's the other thing too. Draft picks are great. Don't need all picks.
Well, both.
Don't need 5 first. Have you got a young kid that looks good? Is there somebody in the system that maybe he was a first rounder 2 years ago that's close to coming through? Now we're getting picky.
Curtis Lazar.
Yeah.
No, not like him. You want someone that scored more than 2 goals in the league. Yeah.
Still playing.
He is. Yeah, he's a fourth liner. A good one, to be fair.
Still playing.
Just don't move second rounders or fourth liners. You get them on waivers like AJ Greer. That's what you do.
Like Jersey.
I was looking this morning. I know we've talked about it. Just when we got into the Florida conversation with how good they have been. The Carter Verhaeghe story is amazing. Drafted in the 3rd round in 2013 by Toronto.
Toronto. Is that the Mason Marchment deal?
A Toronto draft pick. No. He then hangs out with the Leafs for, doesn't play with them. He's playing for the North. And the thing is, he's an Ontario guy. He's from Toronto. So they draft him in round 3. From there, they trade him in a package for Michael Grabner a couple years later, the Leafs did not win the cup that year.
Is that right?
Yeah, that was a non-cup year for Toronto.
Okay.
So he's an Islander. A couple years later, he's traded to Tampa Bay for Kristers Gudlevskis.
Oh, the Latvian goalie that gave Canada a tough time at the Olympics many moons ago.
So he drafted in 2013, traded summer of 2017. So I'm guessing this feels like he's not really a prospect at this point. Maybe he's an AHL guy. Maybe you can call him up, fourth line, whatever.
Yeah.
Islanders traded to Tampa Bay. With Tampa Bay, he gets into 52 games, his first taste in the NHL. As a 24-year-old, he gets 9 goals and 13 points in 52 games. Okay, right? No, whatever.
Very nice.
We're just gonna let him go. I think he was an RFA that wasn't qualified, whatever. But he's
cap
still
issues there at that point for the Tampa.
Yeah. So but even still, right? I don't even where is he playing for the Tampa Bay Lightning in 1920? Who's he playing for? It's 9 goals on the season. Decent, but you're not clamoring for this guy. Signs with Florida. Dale Talon gives him a 2-year deal at $1 million a season. It's like it's like the Rooney deal. Right? Didn't Rooney get 2 times $1 million?
1.3 for Roondog. Yikes.
As a guy who had middling numbers. First year in Florida, 43 games, 18 goals. The next year, 24 goals, then 42 goals. Last year in 81 games, and so far this year, 30 goals in 56 games. And we talked about his overtime goals and game-winning goals and all of this.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Remember, he was just...
in playoffs, he's been sensational,
He's been unbelievable in the playoffs. You can kind of see his numbers there. How do you feel? Like, it's needle in a haystack stuff.
Well, Mark's is so similar. They were both guys that Tampa had in their org at one point and didn't have room for. But like, those are the organizations that are good, fellas. They can find something off the scrap heap and turns into a player like that. Imagine if the Flames found one of those guys, how elated you'd be. That almost like a Giordano story, right? They don't happen often, but if you don't have to spend a high pick or trade valuable things to get a player, God, that's immensely valuable
everything,
to
right?
Yeah,
because I don't know that Rooney's a great comparable, but a guy that's in his early mid-20s and just bounces from team to team to team, had 9 goals in his first NHL season. How about 42 in a couple years? Okay, that'd be all right. A couple things we're going to get to here. What do you want to do first, Jack? You just put it on the screen. I'll talk about it. We got a few things we want to get in here. Oh, it's the Great Clips inbox.
Look at this.
Every single week, we take your questions. Flames, food, hockey, love, life, whatever you want to talk, you fire it through. And we will get into it inside the Great Clips inbox. The email address to send your questions, greatclipsinbox@flamesnation.ca. Pretty straightforward, right? That's pretty straightforward. Great Clips inbox at flamesnation.ca. Great Clips. Salons locally owned and operated, open 7 days a week. The official hair salon of the National Hockey League. You get the Great Clips check-in app. You can see, well, what about at this location? How long's the wait time? Okay, well, how about this location? You pick one. You can even opt in for the Ready Next text alert. It'll text you when there's 15 minutes up to because you're busy. You're driving around Cincinnati. You forget about it. Boop, there's that text. 15 minutes, babe. We got to get to the Great Clips. I got to go get my mullet tightened up.
Yep.
The Great Clips inbox on Barn Burner, presented by Great Clips. It's going to be great. And we'll have that coming up later this week.
It's going to be great.
It's going to be great. Yeah, you're not in Cincinnati. for sure.
That the Skyline's overrated if that is Cincinnati.
Oh, clear day
The
though. She's a
skyline
beauty.
is
Bluebird.
it's a real beauty, Clark.
Yeah, she's a beauty, Clark. You know what? That looks kind of like you're back home in Sask.
You passing
It
bicycle
definitely-
Wide
there?
open
You on your way home?
spaces.
Yeah.
Not certain parts of Saskatchewan, not where I was from. Way too many trees, even though they're most people would consider this sparse. This is like the forest compared to where I grew up.
You're in the mountains. You're in the mountains and the forest where you are compared to Davidson. Is that what you call it? Davidson? Is that kind of where you're from, or what do you like? What do you say?
No, it's nowhere even close. Davidson is just south and east of Saskatoon. I am absolutely as far as you can go, south and west.
All right.
How long you worked with Rhett there, Dean? To not know
I don't
where
know.
in Saskatchewan he's.
Well, it changes. He's from Shaunavon, and then he's not from Shaunavon because
the hospital's in
my
Shaunavon.
uncle put up.
Never been from.
My uncle
Wouldn't
put
live
up the
there.
sign, but then they took it down. Is the sign
Badger.
back up?
Shaunavon Badgers.
Badgers.
The sign, I don't know. I haven't been there in a while. Nobody's died lately.
Oh. Rat.
It's a good thing. That's not a negative. That's a good thing.
It is.
Only
good.
time you go back to Saskatchewan is when someone dies. Oh, I guess your buddy's number is getting retired. That's another reason.
Not to Saskatchewan, to Frontier, because
Yeah.
it's hard to find a place to sleep even nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Don't you go dying on me now.
Why do you say it like that?
Let's take a look at our Betway bets. Get that Betway app. Get it on your phone. Get it on your desktop, your laptop. Get it on your tablet. Play along. We got 5 games tonight. You got that big one, and the Boston Bruins are in Edmonton to play the mighty Oilers. The Oilers they're a force to be reckoned with, but Boston, a lot of people would have said, hey, maybe odds-on favorite to win it all this year. Should be a good one. A litmus test, Red, perhaps.
Ooh, a litmus.
Of sorts. Maybe for both teams.
Oh, double
Maybe
litmus test.
even for both teams. Let's take a look at the Betway bets. The Boston
Look
Bruins
at
and Oilers.
this.
You like that? I'm taking the Bruins money line, plus 120. Plus 120 for the Bruins. They 6-0-3 in their last 9 games on the road, including wins in 3 straight on the road.
It's tidy, dude.
Tidy. And you can't go the other way, so what are you going to do? Toronto at Arizona. How about some Bobby McMahon anytime goal plus 325?
Wainwright, Alberta's very own Bobby McMahon, the 27-year-old.
Bobby McMahon
week.
is playing on the second line with Tavares and Nylander. 6 goals in his last 4 games. Let's go, Bobby.
Oh,
Heater. Down the desert. Hey,
man, what a handle.
So there you go. Those are my Betway bets of the day.
I'm just looking it up. The former Bonnieville Pontiac, Dean.
Sure is.
Lloydminster Bobcat.
Let's
Colgate,
go.
Ooh,
University, whatever the Colgates are.
Get some of that propane, Bobby.
Bobby. Look at this. I'm all on Austin Matthews. AM34 returns to the desert.
Oh, wow.
Not to creep out parking attendant security, but this time to score goals. Maybe the first one, plus 550. Maybe 2 plus 400. If you missed it, the Arizona Coyotes, they're on the opposite of a heater, Rhett. Call that a cooler? Or they're on the shitter. 10
William H. Macy, great movie.
in a row. 10 in a row. Loss. Austin Matthews scores again. Let's go make some money that way.
Yeah. What was the
Last
parking
time
lot?
in that small rink for us.
Seems to be good at that scoring stuff.
Yeah.
75 is the pace. 6 ever have scored 75 in a single season. 6 ever. It is it's a tidy list. You got your Lemieux, you got your Gretzky, you got your rookie Timo. Do you know that would have been close to your heart?
Yeah.
Shooting the
76.
duck. McGillney 76, Esposito had 76, and Brett Hull had 86. That's more than 76. God, did he have a season?
Yeah, it's not bad.
Join that club, Austin.
So is he going to get how's the chase for 50 and 50 with
He's played more than 50 games.
Now that he's got 49 and 53. Did that happen?
Right. He needed like 5 in the third period sometime a week ago. He didn't get him.
Because remember, there was going to be the big watch. And it's
He never got close enough.
Didn't really hear anything about it.
Oh. I mean, I think he was at 45 goals in game 50. Like,
yeah.
Sorry.
So now.
Yep.
Your internet is fucking
That's what I would
dog
say
shit,
for
right?
sure. Let's see what's on the menu. What's on the menu for DoorDash? Get a little DoorDash in your life. It's so easy. Once you start DoorDash, you're going to be a DoorDash and fool. I guarantee it. You order what you want from where you want, whenever you want. It shows right up outside your door. You can double dash. You can order from multiple restaurants or stores in the same delivery without additional delivery fees. Everybody gets something that they want. And for a limited time, our folks get 25% off and zero delivery fees on your first order of $15 or more when you download that app and put in the promo code NATION25, NATION25, to trigger that deal. 5 games in the NHL tonight. Pinder, what's on the menu for DoorDash?
Well, they both start at 8:00 p.m. So, Rhett, I need you to have a nice appetizer and then get set for a later main course tonight. It is Toronto at Arizona. Matthews back in the desert, and also the Bruins and the Oilers in the cultural capital. The white mud, dress pants, sweatpants. You know the drill. It is the Kate's Dome hosting the Bruins and the Oilers. Both start at 8. It's a multi-screen adventure tonight. What are you ordering, Rhett?
I'm going to go with some sort of like a stuffed mushroom candy to start. And then I want lamb kebabs with tzatziki.
Oh, I like a good kebab with tzatziki. That's good.
What are those? And then the bread thing. What is that?
Cheetos?
Like a pita, but thicker. Not naan.
Yeah,
That's
like
different.
a naan bread, but naan's Indian. That's not it. No.
Yeah, it's not naan, but anyway, something like that. You'll love it. Do it.
Pita?
DoorDash.
Pita? Naan? Bannock?
Not Bannock.
It's all kind of bread products, right?
Mm-hmm.
All in the same vein, yeah. It's all kind of similar, but different.
Maybe some of Pinder's chicken soup, as Daryl is throwing out there. No, that's not happening. Nation25 is the promo code. Fire it in. You'll get that 25% off deal on your first order of $15 or more with DoorDash. Reminder, coming up on Saturday, we're going to be at Greta.
Join us.
Greta. Game day. Flames Nation. The Battle of Alberta. Doors open at 7. Now, yes, tickets are available because we're raising money. We're doing something nice for once.
I like it.
Like anyway, raising money for Closer to Home, the community services part of Closer to Home. Good food, good prizes, good cause. So it's $10. Get your tickets at nationgear.ca. You can see the free shot for Calgary's first goal. Should there be one? Free swag, prizes, food and bev specials, and more. We're going to be there, and it's a presentation of our buddies over at McLeod Law, our events partner, and Anthony and the good folks at Village Honda also on board for this one as well. So get your tickets, and we'll see you at Greta on Saturday. When it's not, maybe we'll be talking about big trades by then.
Ooh, that's right.
Yeah, and I believe they're an old friend might be joining us, might be in attendance.
Old friend.
Not so much a friend of yours or anyone else. I'm not sure how many friends he has. I guess I'm kind of one. It's debatable, I suppose. But lots of reasons. That's just one of many to be at Greta on Saturday.
Again, if you're at your house,
it's not Red.
No.
Red is not the no. Red will not be at Greta on Saturday.
I'll be in Pittsburgh.
Of course. The
two
the thing about
Pittsburgh, please.
Yeah. The thing about being at home for this game is that if it gets lopsided, what you gonna do? Think about being at Greta for this game. If it gets lopsided, the world's your oyster, Dino.
Asteroids.
Whack-a-mole.
Something.
Golden Tee. Buck Hunter. Street Fighter. Mortal Kombat.
Golden Axe.
Mario Kart. Pong.
Tomorrow on the program, Ask Rhett. Presentation of Bonton Meats. Get your questions in. Ask Rhett at flamesnation.ca. Love, what is it? What do you need? I mean, Valentine's Day is over. Thank God. But as the dark, cold winter turns into, you feel the warmth of spring. Maybe you have some greenhouse questions. Big greenhouse connoisseur, Retro. Do you have a greenhouse set up in Buffalo?
Yeah, you got to get the No.
Look, the law enforcement's a little tighter around greenhouses in New York State.
Is it?
Right.
Got some chickens running around. Does Rob Ray still have chickens in his backyard?
Is weed legal there? Or what are we
looks
doing
like he's
there?
got rid of most of
Is lead legal?
Leeds legal. I think it's not quite. It's gray area.
So it's not legal then.
Yeah, it's not legal for sure. Doesn't feel like it's legal.
But it's not
It's non-criminalized,
illegal.
but it's not legal.
Mhm. It's not illegal?
It's not illegal nor
I
legal.
don't think so.
But
Yeah.
what if you have lead on your person? Can you get in trouble? Is there an
It's gray.
amount?
I'd say
I
no.
think you'd have to have a lot. I
Yeah.
think you'd have to have a lot more than you can just use
Yeah,
yourself.
Like an 80-liter backpack full of it.
That's too much lead.
yeah.
That's a lot
more
of
than
lead.
one person. That's distribution.
The-
That's not consumption. That's
This one on here, this is not legal.
That's not legal, man. You're gonna need to go for a ride.
This is on the not legal side.
yeah. All right, buddies, that'll do it. Tomorrow's game day. Helmets on. Ask Rhett and more. We'll see you have yourself a fine one. Appreciate you. See you.
Grace.